the doctor told me everything is normal. She is developing perfectly normal. She is exactly the right size that she needs to be for, you know, the gestational age. So, which made me feel good because I do have a smaller baby bump. So I was kind of like, is she growing like normally? Like, I'm like, should I be like out here pregnant already? But I also learned that a lot of women, like with their first pregnancy, they won't start
Gypsy Rose
showing.
Blanchard has been in the spotlight for years, from the twisted relationship with her mother to her eventual involvement in Didi Blanchard's murder. But recently, another chapter of her life has been stirring up just as much attention and controversy. This new narrative, however, is raising serious questions. Is Gypsy Rose really pregnant, or is this just another layer of manipulation in her ongoing quest for public sympathy and control over her current relationship with Ken Arca? Today, we are diving into the suspicious details surrounding Gypsy's pregnancy, examining whether the claims could be fabricated and exploring how this plays into the broader history of deception.
Bump update. Oh wait, what do you guys want to know? What's the update you guys want to know? Bump update. What do you mean? Like, what does it look like? Well, I mean, I feel like every day I wake up and my stomach gets a little bigger. No, I'm not kidding. Not every day, but week by week, I can definitely tell. Like, I'm wearing these maternity tops, and let's see. All right, there we go. Yeah, little bumpy. Just a tiny little bumpy. Got these pregnancy shorts. So they have like the little flap that goes here. Because I couldn't wear my booty shorts anymore.
Gypsy's pregnant. No, she is. I know, but no.
Gypsy has publicly claimed to be pregnant, and she's even gone as far as posting ultrasound images and giving updates about the size of her baby bump on social media. But the consistency of her story is what's raising flags. In videos and public appearances, Gypsy's baby bump has been mysteriously inconsistent, sometimes prominent, sometimes barely visible, and in other instances, completely absent. This isn't just a matter of wearing different outfits. We're talking about a bump that seemingly appears and disappears at will, leading many to believe there is more to this story than meets the eye. One of the key moments that triggered public suspicion was when Gypsy and Ken attended a football game. Observers noted that the baby bump, which she had been showcasing in photos, was nowhere to be seen in person, despite wearing an outfit that should have revealed the shape of her belly. There was no noticeable sign of pregnancy. This same inconsistency was seen in another video where Gypsy appeared with her sister. In some frames, her bump was clearly visible, while in others, it seemed to vanish entirely. It's one thing for clothes to obscure a growing belly, but for it to change this drastically within the same video raises serious doubts about legitimacy of her pregnancy.
People are asking why Gypsy Rose's baby bump looks like it disappears in some photos. Gypsy shared a new bump update. She's 21 weeks, 5 days pregnant. This comes after Gypsy shared a video a few days ago wearing this fall outfit, and people started asking what happened to her baby bump, basically since she announced that she was. She's also shared 2 ultrasounds now. She may have been pushing her belly out in earlier photos and cradling it before it was a noticeable bump, but I think those are pretty normal things to do when you're pregnant.
Is Gypsy manipulating her appearance to keep people guessing about her pregnancy? If so, why? A major theory circulating online suggests she may be using products from a website like fakeababy.com, a site that specializes in creating fake pregnancy bellies, sonograms, and even medical documents. Considering Gypsy's history of manipulation and lying about her health, it's not hard to imagine her leveraging this service to create a false narrative of pregnancy. This theory isn't just baseless speculation either. It was actually brought to light by a YouTube creator who highlighted how easy it would be for someone like Gypsy to obtain these materials and use them to bolster her claims. The website offers fake sonograms that look disturbingly real, as well as fake baby bumps that can be adjusted to look more or less pronounced depending on what stage of pregnancy the wearer wants to depict. In Gypsy's case, it's possible that she's using one of these products to manipulate her public image, allowing her to control when her bump shows and when it doesn't. This would explain the wild fluctuations we've seen in her belly's appearance, from her heavily edited Instagram photos to real-life moments where the bump seems to vanish completely.
I faked my baby. I faked a pregnancy.
This young woman named Danielle says her boyfriend was breaking up with her, so she used Fake a Baby to save the relationship by convincing her boyfriend that she was pregnant.
Holy cow, really? Yes.
Fake a Baby even sells ultrasound videos, positive pregnancy tests, and doctored hospital records.
There was a document.
The document from a local hospital stating she was pregnant.
Fake a Baby's sonograms and paperwork all say for entertainment purposes only.
But these inconsistencies don't stop there. There's also the issue of Gypsy's own explanations for why her bump sometimes doesn't appear. In one TikTok, Gypsy addressed the public's growing suspicions, claiming that the reason her bump looks smaller or sometimes not visible at all is due to the type of clothing she wears. She explained that tight-fitting clothes make her bump more noticeable, while baggy outfits make it less apparent.
So Gypsy Rose says, because unbeknownst to the internet trolls, a woman's body is not the same as others, and particularly for me, I have a small baby bump that appears larger when wearing tight-fitted clothes and barely noticeable when I'm wearing baggy clothes. It's common sense.
On the surface, this seems like a reasonable explanation. After all, different outfits can downplay certain body features. But when you look closer, this reasoning falls apart. Take, for instance, a particular outfit Gypsy wore where she claimed the bump would be less visible due to the looseness of the clothing. Even in this so-called baggy outfit, the shape of her belly was oddly absent. Not only that, but other women who are in similar stages of pregnancy have pointed out that by this point, the belly would be quite pronounced regardless of the outfit. This led many to wonder, if the bump truly exists, why does it only seem to show up when it's convenient for Gypsy? Why is it completely gone in candid moments when she's out in public? Then there is the photo editing. Recently, Gypsy has been posting photos that look suspiciously altered. In one particular photo, her body appears slimmer and more toned than we've ever seen in videos or real-life appearances. Her legs are unusually slim, her arms look much thinner, and even her bump looks different, disproportionately small given how far along she claims to be. The most shocking part, a closer look at the photo reveals digital manipulation. Her hand placed on her hip doesn't match her body. The fingers appear shortened, almost as if they've been edited, giving the entire image an artificial, almost cartoonish look. This suggests that Gypsy is not only manipulating her appearance in person, but also using photo editing tools to craft a more desirable image of herself. Why would Gypsy go to these lengths to edit her body? The most logical explanation is that she's attempting to maintain control over the narrative surrounding her pregnancy. We know from her past that Gypsy has a history of manipulating people's perceptions to suit her needs. For years, she's participated in her mother's elaborate schemes, faking illness to gain sympathy and financial support from others. Could this pregnancy be another way for Gypsy to manipulate those around her, particularly Ken Acker, and keep the public's sympathy? It's important to remember that Gypsy has shown a pattern of emotional manipulation in her relationship. Her current relationship with Ken Acker has already been marked by emotional blackmail and control tactics. Some suspect that her pregnancy might be a way to bind Ken to her, ensuring that he remains loyal and invested in the relationship despite any doubts he might have. If Gypsy is faking the pregnancy, it could be an attempt to trap Ken in the relationship by creating a shared bond that will be difficult for him to walk away from.
We were talking about wanting to go and get, because our ultrasound pictures are from when I was 7 weeks. Is that right?
I think it tells you on the...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 8.
I thought it was 7.
No, don't hold it up to the camera. Just read it.
I can't read that small.
I can read it.
It would have said like...
But beyond her relationship with Ken, there is also the question of Gypsy's public image. She has been trying to rebuild her reputation ever since the release from prison, and the pregnancy could serve as a powerful tool in garnering sympathy and forgiveness from the public. After all, a woman about to become a mother is often seen in a favorable light, especially when compared to her past as someone involved in a notorious murder case. The pregnancy narrative allows Gypsy to position herself as a redeemed, mature woman who is starting a new chapter in life, which could help her distance herself from the past crimes. However, the inconsistencies in her pregnancy story are becoming too numerous to ignore. The shifting baby bump, the suspicious photo editing, the possibility of fake sonograms, all of these point to the idea that Gypsy might be crafting a false narrative. And if that's true, it raises the question of why she feels the need to do so. It's simply a matter of maintaining control over Ken, or it's part of a larger strategy to rehabilitate her image and win back public sympathy. Gypsy's actions are also bringing up uncomfortable comparisons to her past. Just as she once participated in Diddy's manipulative schemes, it seems she's now repeating those patterns in her adult life. This time, however, the manipulation isn't about physical illness. It's about emotional and relational control. By presenting herself as pregnant, Gypsy is creating a narrative that serves her purpose, whether it's keeping Ken by her side or ensuring that the public continues to see her as a victim in need of redemption. What's more, Gypsy's efforts to present a specific image of herself are being undermined by the very tools she's using to craft the image. The photo editing is obvious to anyone who takes a close look, and inconsistencies in her baby bump are raising more questions than they answer. Far from convincing the public that she's genuinely pregnant, Gypsy's actions are making her look more and more suspicious. People are starting to wonder if this is just another one of Gypsy's long-running schemes designed to manipulate those around her and gain sympathy from the public. Ultimately, Gypsy's pregnancy claims raise more questions than they answer. Is she truly pregnant, or is this just another chapter in her ongoing story of manipulation and deceit? While we don't have definitive answers yet, the mounting inconsistencies in her story suggest that something isn't right. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has always been a master of controlling narratives, and this latest chapter could be another example of that. But as the inconsistencies pile up, it's becoming harder for her to maintain the illusion. The public is watching closely, and sooner or later, the truth will come out. As we wait to see how this story unfolds, one thing is clear: Gypsy Rose Blanchard's pregnancy claims are not what they seem. Whether she's using fake sonograms to edit photos or carefully crafted lies, it's becoming increasingly apparent that her pregnancy might not be real. And if that's the case, it's yet another example of how far Gypsy is willing to go to manipulate those around her and maintain control over her life.